name. But if you go to drupal.org/project/commerce-bpc, you can actually see the results of this Google Summer of Code project that essentially lets you take a product type and for every possible combination of fields, create all the products all at once with a single submission of a form. And then it's actually going to create the product display for you too. So it's a really nifty project, and I'm really thankful for Google and also for the student who stepped in to do this, because you really need a usability layer on top of something as complex as this. You couldn't just install Drupal Commerce and deliver it to your client and expect them to know how to create products. I probably can't just install it for you and expect you guys to know how to do this either, because it is complex. But once you have all your products listed, you're in a lot better place than you were previously in UberCart, because you actually know what SKUs exist on your website. If you're familiar with the way that you could adjust SKUs in UberCart on Drupal 6, you have like a tab on the product node page where for each combination of options you would just specify a SKU. And then if you change any of your attributes or options, you lose all that data. And if you try to find that data in the database, it's actually just a serialized array stuck into a text column. So finding out how many SKUs exist on your website is actually a pain, and you don't have the ability to find out all the attribute and option information for each SKU. So what we're doing here is trying to normalize the data model using fields in core, using the entity, and then ideally making it a lot easier to work with the raw data, especially for importing and exporting products. If you've tried to sync UberCart to an external product catalog or fulfillment system, I'm sure you've run into the same problems that we have with products that have multiple SKUs and attributes, especially on import with attributes. So once you have the product defined, there actually is no view mode here. So if I were to click on the messenger bag, I'm actually going to go straight to the edit form, and your customer won't ever actually be able to find this. In UberCart, in Drupal Commerce, we've separated out what the product is from how the product is displayed. And the way to think about this that I used for myself was, if you're running a business, you have a warehouse, and in your warehouse you have all of your product, and then on the shelf you're displaying that product to the customer in some particular fashion, and once somebody buys it off the shelf, you just put it right back into that same spot. And you can organize it on the shelf, you can combine it with other products, you can put big banners if you want to, have special advertisements, but the point of display is really not where you warehouse and store all your products and define what that product is. So I actually am defining all my SKUs in one place, and then I create nodes that function as the point of display, or the shelf if you will, where I'm putting this product out for sale to my customers. The way that this works is you actually have to define a content type, which is under the structure menu in Drupal 7. So content type, and here I have a product content type. And what I've done is I've added a field to this product type, or node type, called product reference field. You can see it right here. And this product reference field is using an autocomplete on the SKU, so that as I'm listing product nodes, I can just type in the SKU. It also works on the title, and it will reference any number of products from my product catalog on this node, on this one node. And if I have only referenced one, then there's just a really simple add to cart form. If I've referenced multiple, then because the attribute data is just fields, I can actually find out which fields are common to all the products that are being referenced. And then I can create select lists for each of the different options and have really like this dynamically updating product selector that functions similarly to the one in UberCart, where you have your different attribute select widgets, but is more dynamic. It can take advantage of Drupal 7's new, brand new Ajax system, which is sort of an update to Drupal 6's AHA system. AHA was more like oh no, and Ajax is like awesome. So if I come back to my front end here, let's actually look at one of my product nodes. There's some other magic going on here that I'm just really excited to work out. So that messenger bag is under my swag. And if I come and look at this node, you'll see that the product reference field is just a single product reference field for, I can't remember the SKU, I think it's just bag, for the bag SKU. Yeah, there you can see the SKU in the cart. So this add to cart form is being dynamically generated as what's called a display formatter. Are you guys familiar with that word? Raise your hand if you aren't familiar with that word. I'm just kind of curious. A few people? Okay. So a display formatter is, in CCK, if you attach a field to something, you define the widget that's going to be on the edit form. You choose, like, is it going to be a select list, a radio button list, an autocomplete field. But then you have a separate tab for manage display. We actually say how that field should be displayed. And so there's a display formatter for the product reference field called an add to cart form, which will turn the product IDs that you're referencing into the cart form that you see, right here. Or if I go to one of the t-shirts where I've referenced multiple products, like I've referenced from each of these a small, medium, large, and maybe extra large version, you can see that it's joining all of them together into a single add to cart form. And I must confess, this is still just version 1 in that all it's doing is putting all the product titles in a select list. What will happen before 1.0 is the small, medium, large, and extra large will be all that appears in the select list so that it looks exactly like it did on UberCart with attributes. And you just have to specify the size, and it's going to know based on the size that you select which product it should actually add to the shopping cart. And you'll remember you have to have a unique SKU for everything, so when I add the large, it's going to be apparent in my SKU that I've actually added the large version of that t-shirt to the shopping cart. So, where does the image come from and the price come from? Because if you look at the edit form, there actually is no place to put in an image. There is no place to specify a price. All there is this lonely product reference field. What the product reference module does is it will know if there's a node referencing a product. And if it finds a node that references a product, it's going to pull the fields in from the product definition itself. And the reason being, we want you to be able to display the same product on multiple nodes or in multiple places, but still sell the same product. And the classic example that came up in our training yesterday was multilingual websites, where you have a different node for each language, but you want to sell the same product from each one and make sure that you're not getting your stock mixed up or prices out of sync. Well, if the definition of the product exists outside of the node and it's just referenced in, then you can actually use the same image for each of your different translations without having to duplicate images. You'll have the same price, unless of course you do something to have multi-currency, and it's going to reference the same product ID and have the same stock and all that same information. So it's pulling in these fields dynamically from the product itself and rendering them in the context of the node. And you may have noticed that on the Manage Fields form. Oh no, it's only on Manage Display now. Sorry. That it's pulling in any field that it finds on the product nodes. So product price, product image. You can reorder them just like you would any other CCK field that you added on here. You can theme them the same way that you would a CCK field, but the field itself and the data is coming straight from the product. Another thing that we'll be able to do with this is whenever you update the add to cart form, so when you pick a different option, we'll have the capability to dynamically replace both the product image and the price on the page without having to do anything except some simple, as a simple AJAX callback. The AJAX system on Drupal 7 it's really swank, and if you're a developer and you like doing that kind of stuff, I really recommend you find a session. Maybe Randy Fay is doing it here at Copenhagen, I can't remember. So that's about it for products right now, but I'll be happy to field questions later. But once you have a product in the shopping cart, you can see right now